Hello, Shell again. Nice to see you.
Hello, nice to see you.
Last time we were talking about decision-making situations, all the pitfalls and hurdles that we actually meet when trying to make a decision in more complex situations. We learned that our brain is playing tricks when, trying to figure out how to carry on with different kind of decisions. The brain prefers to run rather the effortless system 1 and not so much the analytical self that is the system 2. So we said that we would come back to deal with data and AI issues. What is the meaning of being data driven, or what is behind that data is the new gold? What do you think, Shao?
Well, actually, data is a new goal. There's no doubt about that. But data is really a serious business today, because business today is data and IT more or less. So data and AI can help us a lot. But majority of the people don't really understand what serves what and how it works. The amount of data is also growing extremely rapidly, and I don't think we really understand how fast it is growing. You could take, for example, the new Volvo EX90. It's said that it will produce about 5 terabytes of data per hour when it's driving.
Wow.
And to analyze all this data will of course tell you a lot about the environment around the car, also about the driver and so on. But in order to analyze the data, you really need to know what you are looking for.
Okay. Yeah, I heard that actually we are producing a lot of data, but trying to process all this immense amount of information that we are creating, it requires quite some time and a lot of computation capacity. For instance, I heard that the Large Hadron Collision installation in Switzerland, it's running basically a few months, and that they need years to dig all this data out and all the knowledge. So we used to hear that AI is actually the solution. So AI is solving everything. But what is AI? How would you translate AI?
No, so AI is at least 5 different disciplines, and they have usage in different areas. And that disciplines, it could be image recognition, speech analysis, machine learning, etc. But a lot of these things that we today talk about and name as AI doesn't really qualify and doesn't fill the criteria. AI today is mainly about simple and single and rather simple things, where you actually know in a limited area, like image recognition. You can also use it for diagnosis in medical areas, for example. Mm-hmm. So applying machine learning doesn't really mean that the computer is learning to think by itself. Mm-hmm. In simple terms, it involves to learn and train a computer program, often in the form of neural networks, and to perform a specific task. It could, for example, be taught to distinguish a cat from or vehicles from other people. And to train the system, we need lots of data. Pictures of cats, or from different angles or with different appearances. We also need some parameters to optimize it. We also need to know what the right answer is. We need to tell the computer what is not a cat. Mm. So it's a lot of training there in a rather limited area. Okay.
Yeah, I know you've been helping large companies to construct their databases and data solutions for decades. So I know that it's not always easy to make a business, to generate this kind of knowledge of data handling, and you're saying that artificial intelligence is basically a mathematical algorithm that is taught by the human being how to evaluate different situations, right? But if it's a human driven or a human kind of influenced process, how can we avoid that an AI gets as much biased as a human being. So can AI be biased?
Sure it can, because it will depend on how it is taught. As much biased as perhaps when we bring up our children. But it is in a limited area, and it can actually be as biased as a human being who actually did the training of the AI algorithm. And it also has a drawback that it cannot really handle if something unexpected happened. I can take as an example, in China, they have a lot of traffic surveillance, and they have cameras photographing everything, and you can see that everything has happened, and if anything abnormal happens, it will sound an alarm. And one of the day the AI system stopped and said, well, I cannot recognize this, I don't understand anything of this. And the personnel called in and they watched on the monitor and said, well, this is not strange at all. It's just a guy there running with a scooter and had a goat in front of him between the legs, when the goat's legs over the handlebars of the scooter. And for the human being, this is not a problem at all, because we say, oh, this is a guy on a scooter with a goat, that's odd, but it's not strange. So we can learn the limited area, but if anything goes outside that, they are lost.
Okay, so if I understand correctly, giving too much credit to AI can be a failure. So we have to apply a kind of scrutinizing eyes. So look at the outcomes with scrutinizing eyes. I want to say. So basically, interpreting things can be a pitfall just as much as a human being can fail. So AI can fail as well, right?
Absolutely, and AI can fail, and everything that we humans do can fail. The thing is that we need to learn how to use the tools at hand. And when we talk about all these massive amounts of data and the massive amounts of the possibilities with AI and so on, we should remember to have the right starting point. If you compare this to the scientific world and the research world, when you start a research project, you just don't go out and read lots of data to see if you can find something. You start with a hypothesis, and then you're looking to, if I want to achieve this, what data do I need to support this? So I really need to first sort of frame what I'm trying to do, and I need to frame the decision, and after that we can start to apply the tools as I have. So I think we really need to have the right starting point. Okay,
so how can we actually sum up what is the learnings for businesses to be able to distinguish a data-driven operation from an insight-driven operation? So what is your kind of sum up of this?
Well, the sum is really that there are a lot of decision analytics methods and practices, and really some of these, even if people don't like it, but a lot of these are in research and is hidden well down in scientific paper, as nobody has the time or are too boring to read. But there is a lot of things that can be learned there, and I think by applying these sort of modern technology and modern communication opportunities, we can better use these tools. Because all these modern technologies and the way the brain now has to process all the data and all the environment, well, the brain is really not, the original design, I think, was not made for this.
Yeah.
So we will very easily be overpowered about all the sheer amount of the data, and we rationalize that. And this is what we call this system 1 mainly, that we use to cope with all this information. So what we need is simply a sort of structure where we could frame the decisions and really have a process to handle our decisions. That's a way forward, I think.
Okay. So if somebody would like to learn more about this methodology or this approach, how he can get in touch with us with this knowledge?
Well, you can always follow us on our homepage, and we also have a YouTube channel where you can watch more videos in this. We also on LinkedIn, of course. So just contact us, and we'll be happy to learn more. We also have training in this area, So at least to enlighten yourself a little bit more, why not attend some of our training courses?
Yeah, sure. Okay, thank you folks. See you next time.